Okay, so you know how everyone's kind of doing the whole new year, new you thing?
Right.
Well, we're going to ditch that for a sec and get real with our finances in 2025 with this deep dive.
Sounds good.
You sent over some really interesting stuff about financial planning. And
Yeah.
I got to say, this isn't your typical, like, budgeting 101.
It really isn't.
Yeah, it goes deeper.
Much deeper.
And it all starts with this idea that your finances are like, they're connected to your well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
we all know that money stress is a thing.
Oh, for sure.
But this material, it's like it lays out how financial well-being can actually impact your health. Like even down to like the cellular level.
It's true.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is.
Have you ever noticed that connection in your own life?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like when it rains, it pours, right?
Right.
Financial stress, it just seems to make everything else worse.
Totally.
And what I find so interesting about this material is how it talks about financial planning.
It's like it's preventative health care.
Yeah.
You know, we go for checkups, we try to eat healthy to avoid getting sick. Why not do the same thing with our money?
I love that. It's like an annual financial physical.
Exactly.
Instead of waiting till there's a crisis.
Totally.
You're proactively checking in, making sure things are running smoothly.
Exactly.
So speaking of checkups, let's talk about the B word.
Budgeting.
Budgeting.
Yeah.
Especially with inflation still, being a thing.
The big thing.
It's more crucial than ever to make sure that your spending is,
right,
matching up with your income. And importantly, your priorities.
Yes.
Now, I'm curious, do you use any budgeting apps?
I do.
Or any online tools?
I do.
Because some of them are surprisingly helpful
They can be.
in spotting those sneaky spending leaks.
Oh, the leaks?
Ugh, the leaks. I'm terrible for those.
I know, we all have them.
But I've tried a few budgeting apps.
Yeah.
And it is amazing how quickly you start to see patterns. Absolutely.
Like, wow, I spend way too much on takeout coffee.
It's so easy to do.
Yeah. But honestly, sometimes I find those tools can make it feel more complicated.
Yeah, I get that.
What's been your experience?
Yeah, it's all about finding the right tool that works for you.
Okay.
But one thing that never fails to simplify things is a good emergency fund.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this material, it recommends having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up, which can seem like a lot.
Yes, that's a lot.
But think about it.
Yeah.
If you suddenly lost your job
Oh, yeah.
or had some big unexpected expense, that cushion could be the difference between weathering the storm or like spiraling into debt.
Yeah.
It's like buying peace of mind.
That's a good point.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Do you have an emergency fund?
I do.
And how does it stack up against that recommendation?
So that's a great point about the peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because I think for a lot of people, myself included, saving that much can feel impossible. Like, where am I going to find that extra money?
Right.
But honestly, having gone through a job layoff a few years ago with very little saved,
Oh, yeah.
the stress was insane.
I bet.
So I am slowly building up that fund now.
Good for you.
Even if it's just like a little bit each month.
That's all it takes.
What about you?
Yeah.
Do you have a fully stocked emergency fund?
I'm working on it just like everyone else.
Okay, good.
But you've hit on something super important.
What's that?
It's not about finding this like lump sum overnight.
Right.
It's about consistency. Small steps over time.
Okay.
And this kind of ties into what the material says about managing debt,
Okay.
especially consolidating debt.
Okay.
Now, that might seem a little counterintuitive at first,
better.
but think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine you're juggling all these credit cards
Oh, yeah.
with different interest rates and due dates.
Oh, yeah.
Consolidating brings all that under one umbrella.
Oh, okay.
And you could potentially lower your interest rate and simplify your payments. It's about taking control and creating a clearer path forward.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered debt consolidation?
I haven't, but the way you explained it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I always thought it was more about hiding the problem, not actually addressing it.
Right.
But if it can simplify things and maybe even lower my interest rate,
Potentially.
that's huge.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a strategic move, not like a magic solution or anything.
Right.
But if it's done right, it can be a really powerful tool.
Okay, so it's all about strategic moves,
Right.
both for managing debt and planning for the future.
Yes.
And this material really emphasizes the importance of revisiting your goals, especially those long-term ones like retirement.
Yes, very important.
And it's not about saving a ton of money all at once.
Right.
It's about those small, consistent contributions.
Absolutely.
Adding up over time.
Yes.
Thanks to the magic of compound interest.
That's the key.
Okay, so speaking of long-term goals, what are your financial dreams for 2025?
Oh, wow.
Are you on track, or do you need to make some course corrections?
You know, it's funny you should say course corrections, because that's actually what this material is all about when it comes to like asset allocation.
Okay.
It's not something you just like set and forget.
Right.
You know, your investments should kind of evolve with you.
Okay.
Especially as you get closer to retirement.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, myself included, get intimidated by the whole idea of asset allocation.
I get it.
It just feels very like Wall Street, very jargony.
Very technical.
Can you break it down for us? Like,
sure.
Even someone who's new to investing can understand.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Good. Yeah, good.
You're adjusting the sails on a ship.
Okay.
As you're navigating different waters.
Okay. I like that.
When you're younger and you're further away from retirement, you've got more time, so you can take on more risk. So your portfolio, it can be more heavily weighted towards things like stocks, which have the potential for higher returns, but also a little bit more volatility.
Okay, so it's like you can be a little bit of a daredevil
Exactly.
when you're younger because you've got time to recover if things get a little rocky.
Exactly. You have time to make up for any losses.
Okay.
But as you get closer to retirement, the focus shifts from growth to preservation.
Okay.
You want to make sure you protect what you've earned.
Right.
And that it's there when you need it.
Makes sense.
So you might start shifting to more conservative things like bonds.
Okay.
Which typically offer lower returns, but they're considered less risky.
Okay. So it's all about finding that sweet spot.
Exactly.
Between risk and reward based on your age and how far away you are from that finish line.
Yes.
Retirement.
Exactly.
But it's not just about age though, right?
No, it's not.
Like other things can happen in your life.
For sure.
Like having kids or buying a house.
Absolutely.
That can impact your investment strategy too.
All those major life events, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so it's not just chronological.
Right.
It's really about your big picture.
Your overall financial picture, yes.
And what you want to do.
With your money.
And that's why it's so important to review your portfolio regularly.
Okay.
Just like those financial physicals we were talking about.
Right.
You want to make sure your investments are still aligned with your goals and your risk tolerance.
Okay, so speaking of aligning things, let's switch gears to something that's often overlooked, but still crucial for your financial well-being.
Right.
Estate planning.
Estate planning.
Okay, not exactly the most exciting topic,
All right.
but definitely important.
It is.
And I think a lot of people think it's only for like older people or if you have a lot of assets.
Right.
But this material is saying that everyone, no matter how old you are,
regardless of your age,
or how much money you have,
should have at least a basic plan.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Well, it's about having peace of mind.
Yeah.
Knowing that your loved ones are taken care of.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. And estate planning, it's not just about like writing a will. It's about making sure that your wishes are followed and your assets are distributed the way you want.
Okay.
It can also include things like a healthcare proxy or a power of attorney, which can be really helpful if something happens and you can't make decisions for yourself.
So it's about taking control and making sure your voice is heard.
Exactly.
Even when you can't speak for yourself.
Even when you can't. Yeah.
And while it might not be the most fun thing to think about, having these things in order can actually relieve a lot of stress.
It really can.
It's about being prepared.
Being prepared, yeah.
And proactive.
Exactly.
Which really aligns with this whole idea of taking ownership of your financial future.
Absolutely.
So it's like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right.
But for your finances.
Exactly.
And speaking of prevention,
yeah,
let's circle back to those small steps that can make a big difference.
Okay.
The material really emphasizes that you don't need to change everything overnight.
No, you
see results.
Small changes over time.
Okay.
It's like training for a marathon. You don't start by running 26 miles.
No, you don't.
You gradually increase your mileage.
Okay, I like this analogy.
You build up your endurance and stamina.
So instead of overhauling your entire financial life at once, maybe just focus on one small change each month.
Exactly.
Like, okay, this month I'm cutting back on eating out.
Yeah.
Or this month I'm going to automate a small amount of savings every week.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah.
And building momentum.
Okay.
And just like with marathon training, There'll be times when you feel challenged.
Right.
Or maybe a little discouraged.
Yeah, for sure.
But just remember why you're doing this.
Yeah.
And just keep moving forward.
Even if it's just one step at a time.
And celebrate those small wins along the way.
Yes.
Every step in the right direction is a victory.
It is.
Okay, well, speaking of celebrations, I'm really glad we dove into this topic.
Me too.
It's given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And hopefully our listeners are feeling inspired.
Yeah.
To take action, too.
I hope so. I think a lot of times people get caught up thinking that financial planning is only for, rich people or people close to retirement.
Right.
But this material, it makes it so clear that financial wellness, it's a journey. It's not a destination.
Right.
And it matters at every stage of life,
Yeah.
whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned investor.
That's something that really resonated with me, too.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, I had this idea that financial planning was all about, picking stocks or knowing, all the ins and outs of the market. But this stuff, it's completely changed my perspective.
I hear you. It's really about aligning your money with what you value.
Absolutely.
And creating a life that you're intentional about.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter how much money you make.
It's for everyone.
Yeah. And you know what else really stuck with me?
What's that?
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Nope, definitely not.
Everyone's financial situation is different.
Totally.
Different goals, different risk tolerance, different life circumstances.
Absolutely.
And that's why this material is so big on creating a personalized plan. It's not about following some cookie cutter formula.
Right.
It's about figuring out what works for you.
Exactly. It's like your own financial fingerprint.
I love that.
Right.
But where do you even start with that? Creating a personalized plan.
Yeah.
I think that's where people get stuck.
It can feel overwhelming, for sure.
Yeah.
And while this material has tons of great advice, it also says it's really important to talk to a professional when you need to.
Okay.
Connecting with a financial advisor can be super helpful, especially if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed or you just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
It's like having a personal trainer for your money.
Oh, I like that.
They can help you figure out where you're at, what you want to achieve, and make a plan to get you there.
So it's about having an expert in your corner.
Exactly.
Someone who can give you advice and help you navigate all that complicated financial stuff.
Yes, exactly.
But beyond that professional guidance, there's also a lot we can do on our own.
Absolutely.
To build better financial habits.
For sure.
One thing that really hit home for me was how important mindfulness is, especially with spending.
Oh, yeah, big time.
It's so easy to spend without thinking.
It really is.
Especially these days with instant gratification and online shopping and everything.
Everything's so accessible.
Yeah. We're always being told to buy more stuff, upgrade our lifestyles, keep up with the Joneses.
There's a lot of pressure.
It is. And it's we're on autopilot. Just swiping our credit cards without even thinking about it.
It happens.
But this material, it's encouraging us to pause.
Yes.
And be more aware of what triggers our spending and make conscious choices.
I love that word, conscious choices.
Yeah, about where our money goes.
It's so important.
It's about asking yourself, do I really need this?
Right.
Or is this thing I'm about to buy?
Yeah.
Does it actually align with my values and my goals?
Does it bring you joy?
Right, exactly. It's not about depriving yourself.
Oh, not at all.
It's about making choices.
Yeah.
That support your well-being.
That support your overall well-being. That's the key.
It's about shifting your mindset.
Okay.
From scarcity.
To abundance.
Abundance.
Yes.
And that abundance mindset.
Yes.
It's not just about having more money.
It's not.
It's about feeling secure and empowered.
Yes.
And in control of your financial future.
I love that.
Okay, so speaking of the future.
Yeah.
One final takeaway that really hit me.
Okay.
Was this whole emphasis on investing. Not just for retirement, but for
right.
overall financial health.
Absolutely.
Investing, it's not just for rich people or financial experts.
Nope. It's for everyone.
A powerful tool.
It is.
It can help you grow your wealth over time, reach your goals, create a more secure future.
I agree.
And it doesn't have to be scary or complicated.
It really doesn't.
There's so many resources out there.
There are.
Like robo-advisors and target date funds that make investing easy for anyone.
Anyone, no matter how much experience you have.
Or how much money you make.
Exactly.
The key is to just start early.
Start early.
Even if it's with a small amount.
It all adds up.
And let that compound interest work its magic.
The magic of compounding.
And remember, investing isn't just about putting your money in the stock market.
Yeah.
It can also be about investing in yourself.
Yes.
Through education.
Absolutely.
Personal development.
Yes.
Or even starting a side hustle.
Love it.
It's about creating a life of growth and possibility.
It is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into financial wellness, I really hope you're leaving feeling empowered.
I also do.
And inspired to take control of your financial future.
It's all within your reach.
Remember, it's not about being perfect.
Nope.
It's about making progress.
Progress, not perfection.
Small steps taken consistently can lead to big results.
They can.
And whether you're just starting out on your financial journey or you're already a pro, there's always something new to learn.
Always.
More to explore and more to achieve.
So true.
So embrace the journey.
Embrace it.
Stay curious.
Stay curious.
And never be afraid to ask for help along the way.
Great advice.
Your financial well-being is within your reach.
It is.
And the possibilities are truly limitless.
Limitless.